Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I'm here talking with, I don't even know your name, and here from the Phoenix Press.
I'm Nick.
How you doing, Nick? I'm so glad you. I had my other monitor on, so I didn't want an echo. I apologize for. I'm very professional, as you can see. Well, how you doing, Nick? Nick, for those of you who do not know, you're the owner, runner, guru of the Phoenix Press.
All of the above, yes.
And Nick created this comic that I have here in my hands, The Screecher. And I got to say, it was a charming comic. I really liked it. I did a video on it. I don't know if you've seen my showcase on it.
I think I did watch it when it went live, and I remember enjoying it.
Yeah. I enjoyed your comic. So, and before we get into discussion, because I'll talk forever, you got a new Indiegogo, right? It's Indiegogo, correct? Coming out?
Yes, Indiegogo. I'll be going live this Friday.
Oh, wow. Good timing. So those of you, I put the link. You can see the link right over there. That's a direct link. You can click on that. Go right to Nick's new comic. What is your new comic called?
This is Twilight Samurai issue 3, A Bridge Too Far.
Okay, all right. That's so. And you're the writer of both Screecher, and you're the writer of the two. I can't even speak. 2100 Samurais. Did I say
yes,
that
both
correct?
comics. Yes, both
so you're, and it's the same artist on both.
Yes.
Now, I got to ask, are you guys like childhood friends that made comic books as little kids and just, did the loose leaf thing and made comics?
I wish. Brian is a person that, like, I found him on Fiverr, and we just kind of developed this really good working relationship. He's been working on my stuff for like a long time. He finished up issue 1, did all of issue 2, did Screecher. Now he's doing issue 3. He's going to handle Screecher issue 2. Brian is a really great guy, and I love working with him.
Oh, that's great. That is awesome. Cool. I got to ask now. So, were you like a little kid who was into comics?
Yeah, yes, actually, I was most definitely.
Okay, were you a Marvel kid or a DC kid?
I was and still am a DC fan.
Oh, okay. I was a Marvel kid. I didn't switch to DC until the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, if you're just looking at Screecher and just reading it, you can just tell, like, okay, person who wrote this is a DC fan.
Okay, so who's some of the inspirations for Screecher? I think I have a guess, but
all right, so it's a combination of a couple of them. You got like Batman / Batgirl, Moon Knight, and then Dove from Titans.
Oh, okay. I was gonna guess spoiler. Okay. Moon Knight though. So did what? I'm a Moon Knight freak. You just said the wrong thing. I'm gonna talk about Moon Knight. What about Moon Knight? Did you incorporate?
So I liked it, like his design. Basically, like, you know how he has like the hood up and it's like the blackness. All you can see is like the eyes.
Yeah, and you can see the cape is forming like a crescent up at the top quadrant of the comic.
Yeah, that was the artist touch. Like, usually the cape is like white. It's made of like kind of like hardened ceramic feathers, kind of thing.
Okay.
But the artist made an artistic interpretation. It looked great, so I was like, why not?
Okay. All right. What I did like about your comic was I could take it you're not a rookie writer. You've written comics before, and what I liked about her was she was a rookie, but she wasn't incompetent. But she made a little bit of mistakes, but she reacted for mistake. I love that. I love when there's logical flaws. I love when there's again, I'm gonna bust on you for DC, like the old DC stuff. The Green Lantern's weakness is wood, or whatever. The color yellow, but she seemed like a realistic person who had she was going after the information to get to the people who got to her father, and I think her emotions kind of got caught up with. I really dug that. I thought you did a good job. To the point where, come on, where's issue 2? When's issue 2 coming out?
Issue 2 is going to be coming out this fall. Basically, just you kind of need to get Turn Samurai issue 3 out of the way. We'll probably be starting production on that probably June, July-ish.
Okay,
coming out in October. Issue 2 is going to be really good. I don't know if you noticed at the end of issue 1, I tease a new character coming into the mix.
Okay, okay.
You know,
I, I,
Shiva is coming.
I was talking. We were chatting a little bit before we started, and I was saying like the crowdfunding. I'm so excited about crowdfunding. First off, because at the risk of insulting anybody, and I'm not trying to insult. Mainstream comic books are just flat. They're just boring to me.
Yeah,
And the crowdfunding
yeah,
it's where it's at, but it's hard to keep track of everything. And you, I'm gonna say, like I saw Screecher a few times, but you on Twitter just made me laugh. You were very humorous, and I said, you know what, this guy made me laugh 4 or 5 times. That's more than most people. I got to take a gamble on his comic, and I'm really glad I did. I did like it. I didn't know about 2100 Samurais though, so I got to go. Can I get back issues? There you go. How's that?
There will be a catch-up tier for Torn Samurai. It's about a $30 tier, but you get physical copies of all 3 issues.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. I can't just jump in on number 3, so I'll be backing it. It goes live this Friday. You said, right?
Yes, and if you like the Screecher cover, the person who did the cover for Screecher, Xevious, is actually returning to do the cover for Torn Samurai 3, and it is good.
He's another guy that his Twitter makes me laugh, and I didn't want to say his name because I knew I was going to say it wrong. So thank you for me. All right, so I could tell by looking at you that you're young. You're younger than me. You're a youngin, and you were DC growing up. So I guess you always you were after the Crisis on Infinite Earths, right?
Yeah. Just to put it out there, I'm 35.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm 50.
I got a few miles on me. I got a few.
Few
miles on me.
Oh, 35 is full on adult. Full on adult. You know.
As much as I don't like to admit it, you are correct.
Yes. So he just made me laugh. I don't know why. And I also want to offer my condolences. I know you lost a pet recently, and as you were posting about losing your pet, I lost a pet too. So I think that's one of the things that made me like look at your Twitter every day. We were going through the same thing. I didn't really post too much about it. I guess we all grieve differently. So condolences on your pet.
Yep. I appreciate that. My condolences for your pet.
Yeah, my cat Winnie. You know, all of a sudden we just realized she was sick. You know how cats are; they hide. We took her to the vet, and the vet was just like, "Make her comfortable."
Yeah. When I was 18 actually, we had a pet cat named Mickey. He was actually born a year before I did, and at 19, I remember this was like 2006. He passed away, and he got really sick. He was really Mickey and me never got along, but he was really slow, really failed in the past few days. He's actually letting me pet him, and yeah, he found a corner and then he passed away.
He was 19 years old, the cat.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he was 19 years old. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Wow. Good.
Yes, it's a good age. You know.
Yeah, it's a good age. That's a good. My
as far as pets, I still got one of them. Courage is still with me.
Courage. I see you posted pictures of Courage.
Yeah, he's right over there. After we do this, I'll show you Courage. But yeah, he's still doing pretty good, thankfully. Good. So it's just me and him, and we're doing pretty good.
I forgot there was a scare with Courage also. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. Yeah, and I'm glad to see he's doing okay. Right? Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good. All right. So. We'll talk about comics again. I just wanted to offer condolences because since we went.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So let me ask you, your first comic was 2100 Samurais, right? That
technically my first comic was Project Axis, but that one's kind of a bit of a dead project at the moment. It's gonna need to be rebooted. So
okay, and you always were an independent writer, right? You never worked for any of the big houses or anything like that?
I never worked for any of the big houses. I was a part of another independent company called Dark Elf Designs for a minute. In fact, the first version of Project Axis actually came out under that label, but in 2019 I left, started my own company, re-released Project Axis. I was actually supposed to release Torn Samurai under their label, but that ended up not working. So I released it under my label and just going from there.
I take it. Do you enjoy working for yourself, or
I do. I do. Basically, I'm I'm responsible for everything. So it's like all the mistakes are mine, but all the victories are mine. I enjoy working towards a goal, the progress.
That's
It's
got to be so
extremely fulfilling.
satisfying. You know what I mean? Like to hold this up and be like, I did this. That's got to feel good. That's got to
Okay,
feel so good.
I gotta say, so I've done 4 comic books at the point. Like Screecher was my 4th comic, and I gotta tell you, that moment when you first hold a comic book in your hand, when you get it back from the printers, and you just look at it, it never gets old. It is the
That's
best
got to be.
feeling in the world to have something go from here to in your hands, and it just looks so beautiful, and just like, and you just kind of reflect on all the hard work that you took to get you there. It's just like, it is so amazing. Like, honestly, I want more people to experience that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I want you to have more people experience that too. You know, I want all the independent. I want the independents to do so well that you're not the independents anymore. You know what I mean? Like, they're in a healthy industry. This would be a comic book that I could walk into any comic book store. It would be on the shelves. You know what I mean? And I'd be picking up my Fantastic Four, my Spider-Man, and my Screecher.
One day.
Yeah, I just don't understand what's going on in the comic book industry anymore. Some of these like, do you get other crowdfunded comics? Any ones that you particularly like?
I've supported a fair few myself. I have a lot of them on my show, and I always make sure to like retweet campaigns of people and whatnot. In my opinion, the rising tide lifts all ships. That's
right.
my
That's
philosophy.
what I don't get. I don't get the jealousy, and I don't get the mainstream people getting mad at the crowdfunding people and the Comicsgate people. A rising tide floats all boats. You know what I mean? Like the fact.
Yeah, that's something that I'm not really understanding, because like, I mean, the mainstream versus indie thing, I can understand from a certain perspective. Like, oh, we're mainstream upstart, but like the thing that I really don't understand is indies beefing with other indies. Like I got some people that like have kind of treated me pretty badly. I'm not going to name names or anything, but like I'm not about that life. I just want to talk to cool people, make cool comics.
Yeah, I think you do. I think you're doing a good job. I'm enjoying it. I got to pick up the 2100 Samurai. I just started this channel like a year ago, and I'm getting my momentum going finally. So
yeah, I know how you feel. Like I've been doing the YouTube stuff myself. I've this year is when I really started to put effort into my YouTube. I recently crossed 300 subs. So
all right.
Yeah, that makes me very happy.
Yeah, I remember when I had 86 subs after it. That was just about a year, and I was like, I'm giving up. This is going nowhere. I'm wasting my time. And, yeah. All right. How long does it take you to get a comic book? Like I meant like to write an issue. Let's just say Screecher One, because I'm looking right at it. How long did it take you to write?
Just to write.
Just to write, and then I'll ask you how long did it take to for the artist and then produce. But like the stages.
So as far as just writing the script is concerned, it takes me roughly about a week, sometimes less, to just do the first draft of the script, and then from there, just drafts and whatnot as we go along. So let's just say 2 weeks roughly.
Okay. Okay.
I usually when I'm creating a new comic, I always write out the first volume first. And by that I mean it's like I write out the scripts for all the issues in the first volume. Because like a problem that I've encountered in the past, where it's like I write a great first issue for a comic, and I'm like, I got no idea where to go from here.
Oh,
at the very least, when I write a first volume, there's at least enough there to where it's like I either know where I'm going, or at least I can kind of like suss it out where to go from here from the volume.
So you have a big story for Screecher, I imagine, because you could tell you're going somewhere.
Yes. So there's going to be 4 issues in volume 1.
Okay.
And all 4 of those issues are written out. Issue 2 has been edited, so that the issue 2 is pretty much ready to go. Issue 3 and 4 are complete, but they need editing.
Okay. Do you have a friend that edits, or do you hire out for an editor?
Various friends. Sometimes I edit.
I think
it's
that's
kind of
so important
yeah, it's kind of something I'm still kind of working on. Kind of
because your
get.
dialogue was very good. Very, I don't want to mention any names because I'm not out here to hurt anybody's feelings, but a lot of crowdfunded comics, I found the art is spectacular. The panel layout, the coloring, and the printing. I'll get back to your printing. I really liked your printing, but the biggest weakness has been the writing. And yours, I read it. It sounded natural. It was good writing. So congratulations.
Yeah, I'm gonna get saucy here for a little moment. Um,
Okay. Let me
not
get the.
every artist can
He's
write.
a writer.
And there's something that that I like to call artist who write syndrome, where you have an artist
I think okay.
who's
I'm
really
sorry.
amazing, but they can't write. Like Jack Kirby had this problem. Jack Kirby.
Steve Ditko.
But
He couldn't
yeah,
write.
like Jack Kirby. Like Jack Kirby was probably, I think, was a decent plotter, but in terms of his dialogue was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he could
I agree.
create, like he could be a great world builder and whatnot. The Fourth World Saga.
Nobody's gonna argue with that. Yeah.
But in terms, if you actually try and read some of those comics, it's kind of painful. And he's he's one of the greatest comic artists of all time. No one can take that. Like even Todd McFarlane.
Oh, Todd McFarlane needs a writer.
I will say Todd did get better, because if you look at Spider-Man #1.
Todd McFarlane just
the Spawn Nazis got us. But no, if you go back and read Spider-Man 1, it's all captions. There's like one scene that has word bubbles. It's like a person narrating the story, and it's really bad.
Yeah.
But just year later, when he's doing Spawn #1, it's actually a lot better. I'm not saying he's writer of the year, but I will give credit. Todd did get better.
Yeah. But yeah. I agree with you. There's a lot of I like it when one person does everything. I think that to me is it's almost like magic when one guy could do, but not everybody has they're different skills. Not you may be a phenomenal writer, but you're not a great artist, or you're not a writer.
I am not a good artist.
Oh, I wasn't talking to you. I was just talking in general. Yeah, I could barely draw stick figures. It was a joke. I auctioned off a drawing, and it was abysmal. Not even, Hey,
Also,
how you doing, Eddie? How you doing?
Yep,
Eddie's a regular.
Yep.
Eddie, everything sound good? Everything look good? I just hope Nick and I aren't talking to just each other.
So as far as the kind of getting back to the dialogue, basically, my approach to dialogue is I kind of come from Quentin Tarantino school of dialogue writing, where it's you keep it loose, you keep it casual, Also, when I write, I kind of write like a musician, because I don't know, well, I'm blurred, but I'm also a bit of a musician, so when I'm doing my stories, I think of flow and the ebb and flow, the beats, and kind of I like my stories to kind of flow naturally, even the dialogue, and what probably if I had my own personal tropes, I really love kind of like a bass drop moment where it's we've got to do something. Call the ballistas. I love those moments where it's dramatic rising tension, boom, and then it just kind of slams down, and you kind of get that thing, and just I love those moments. If I had a personal trope, that would probably be it. I love doing those moments. They're really fun. They're really great. But yeah, I'm always very cognitive of story flow, the beats, how things kind of go, because the thing about music is it's anticipation, resolution, shave and a haircut, 2 bits, stuff like that. And then music just kind of ebbs and flows. You got your highs, you got your lows. I'm starting to get a little philosophical here.
Be yourself.
But yeah, basically, to kind of sum it all up, my approach to writing in general is to treat it like music. Flow, beats, and just kind of just like that kind of stuff.
To me, it's almost a shame that when I get a crowdfunded comic, I'm like, wow, the writing is good. your comic, I like the dialogue. You know, it just sounded the way people spoke. And then there was another comic by I forget the company, but it was The Saints by Mitch Breitweiser. It was just excellent writing, you know, and so many other crowdfunding comics. Again, I don't want to mention names. I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings. They look beautiful and glorious, but you know, the writing, I really thought they could use it. So kudos on you for having an editor.
So yeah, I think it's kind of the same Like I'm probably gonna get so much heat for this, but I don't care.
Let's get the drama going.
The problem with a lot of indies is the same problem that caused the crash in the 90s. Comics became too art focused, and people were like, "Did I buy this issue already?" And that's kind of the thing. Is like you see a lot of comics, they are trying to emulate the 90s, like the 90s comics, you know, and the art's amazing. But the thing is, Screecher in particular was made to emulate the late 90s, early 2000s. Like that's the era that I was trying to hit. Like I was like, as far as like tone and whatnot, I was trying to go for like a Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond kind of thing.
If you're gonna emulate something, emulate the best.
Like Chuck Dixon's Nightwing run was a huge inspiration on me. I love Chuck Dixon. I've interviewed him. I've interviewed him a couple times. He's a great dude. Yeah.
I asked if he wanted to come on. He didn't say yes. He didn't say no. So I think he's checking me out. I'm a Chuck Dixon fanboy. Yeah.
I am too. I love Chuck Dixon, and he's probably the exception of Don't Meet Your Heroes, because like growing up, I read a lot of Chuck Dixon comics. I've always been a Chuck Dixon fan.
Yeah, I didn't even realize how much of a fan I was.
And then to meet him and have him be like this great guy, I'm even more of a Chuck Dixon fan now than I ever was. So
yeah, I'm with you. Don't meet your heroes, especially in the comic book world.
Except unless it's Chuck Dixon, in that case.
Except for Chuck Dixon, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. So, pardon me for coughing. When do you give like a full script to your artist, or do you do the Marvel method? How does
I do a full script. So the way that I approach my scripts is, when I do a panel, like panel breakdown, like page 1, panel 1 kind of thing. And then for each panel, I do like 1 or 2 sentences of like, this happens. Maybe I'll put emphasis on like they're
standing on
there.
top of a building, looking down.
Yeah, like it's very like kind of gets a point across. Like maybe it'll be like, oh, they have a certain emotion on their face. Like, oh, they look up in horror. You know, their eyes filled with blah blah blah. You know, just kind of stuff to get you like the grasp of the emotion of the scene. Okay. But I make it a point to keep it brief because I want to give enough so that my artists know. Like sometimes it'll be like from an overhead angle, from an over the shoulder. You know, like I try to keep it as vague as I possibly can, but still get the point across. Because
so when you get the artwork, are you surprised a lot? Like, wow, I didn't think of that.
Sometimes, like I try to be very
so cool.
I try to be very open to ideas because my philosophy is I'm not an artist, and if an art I encourage my artists, if you have an idea of how something can go, let me know. And they've approached me to be like, hey Nick, I think this angle would work better. I think if we did it this way, and 99.9% of the time, I'm like, yes, like their idea is better, and I go with it, you know, because I'm humble enough to admit, you know, like, hey, their idea works better.
You know what?
Because
you just gave like a word. You just gave like a word for word explanation that Chuck Dixon said. He goes, "You're the artist, I'm the writer." He goes, I trust the artist's instincts, and 9 times out of 10, their instincts, because you know that's what they do. That's funny that you're a big Chuck Dixon fan.
And that's where collaboration is key. Is you got to be able to trust your artist. Like if you, you know, I've worked with Brian enough to be like, you know, trusted judgment. Sometimes I push back against them. It's rare, but you know, like if I'm very like adamant about like it needs to be this way or whatnot, but most of the time I take suggestions. I'm working with an art editor on this one because like I said, I'm you know, I'm a writer, not an artist. So the problem that I have is I don't speak artist, and so like sometimes I'll show up, like in the past I've shown this like, oh, you need to do this, that, and they'll throw the like this artist jargon to be like, my art editor is my translator. basically.
Okay.
Basically someone who can spot the things that I don't, and that if I need to get something across, they can speak artist with that person, and they can have a better time communicating what I'm trying to do. And I will say, my art editor, Neff, he's been great. It's been a great, like, honestly, it's been a great experience. My only regret is I didn't do it sooner.
Yeah, well, hindsight is 2020, you know. Yeah. Yeah. I wish I started up this channel sooner, you know. But I was intimidated by everything, how to work the camera, how to work a microphone, how to do playlists, you know. And then after you're done, you're like, wow, why didn't I do that earlier? It works out.
Sometimes you just gotta jump in the water.
Yep. So let me, how long does it take you to, like, you know, because I just discovered you recently, you know, I picked up Screecher, but how long does it take you to have a comic? I guess I'm asking it a poor way, is how long did it take you to do all 4 of these comics, right? You have 4 comics, right? So for how long did that take?
I've cut down on my time drastically because it was 1 a year. Now I'm doing 2 comic books a year.
Okay.
It takes me roughly about between 3 to 5 months per comic to get it done, depending on how it is. From like start of production to put it in people's hands, I'd say. Sometimes things tend to overlap because like it's May and going to June, so like now that I'm about to launch this one, I'm kind of thinking about Screecher a little bit more, you know.
And you're a one man, like you, everything gets sent to your house, and you do deliveries from your house, not deliveries, fulfillment from your house.
I have done it in the past, but now I work with a fulfillment company called Critical Blast. They service a lot of like indie people, and RJ is the guy who runs it. Might be a different RJ than
yeah, it's got to be a different RJ, yeah.
But he's a great guy, easy to work with. He does great work, and it just takes a lot of the hassle out of my hands. And for that, I'm happy.
Hello, General Piggy.
What's up? What's up, General Piggy? Long time no see, buddy.
Oh, okay. You know him too? Okay. I just wanted to talk about one of the things that like I'm very peculiar about is printing in comics. And I got to say, I love this printing.
Mm-hmm.
You did a really good job printing this. It is.
Oh, I didn't print it. I didn't.
Well, you oversaw it. You said okay, and you paid for it, so you're getting the credit.
I wouldn't say I oversaw it. I paid the company, and they handled the rest. Shout out to Comics Wellspring. If you're in the indie, you probably heard that name before. Fun fact: I actually live 20 minutes from their printing office. So,
oh, cool.
So what's really great is they are like world class printing. That is like literally in my backyard. I don't have to pay for shipping. I just drive up there and pick it up directly like from the printers. It's
there
really
you go.
nice.
That's great. That's great.
Saves me a little bit of money.
And you went with them right from the beginning?
I'm trying to think. I did use a different service for Project Access. I think it was called like Digital Print Universe. They did a decent enough job. But when I went to turn samurai, I definitely did Comics Wellspring and did not look back.
Yeah, it's you did a good job, because that's another thing. You pay the money. Sometimes, again, I'm not mentioning names, but like the staples are coming out, you know, and you're like, oh man. But you did, you know, that's one of my pet peeves is the way comics are printed. You and Altern are doing a good job making comics.
Wow. I'm flattered. The fact that you like put me on the same level as Alterna, that's pretty high praise.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know how you're gonna take. Yeah, they are good. They're putting out comics that are better than Marvel and DC. How is that possible? Well, I think I know how it's possible. Marvel and DC don't really care.
Well, for one thing, Peter Simeti knows what the heck he's doing.
Right.
I got a lot of respect for that guy.
Me too. I'm kind of intimidated by him. He came on my channel, and I was like, I felt like I had to behave. I felt like
what I've seen, he seems like the nicest guy. Like,
I know. That was my own fault. Yeah,
like maybe he can be a little blunt at times, so that's just like
I like experience. That. I'm one of 7 kids. I'm a construction worker. Sometimes, I believe it or not, I'm trying to restrain myself when I'm on these live streams, because I don't know how people are going to take it if I'm too honestly blunt.
Yeah.
Pardon me. So you it's the all your it's you as the writer. This and I'm sorry, I forgot the name. Ryan is your artist.
Brian Q. It's like Brian Q. What? His last name's kind of hard to pronounce. So I just call him Brian Q.
Yeah, that's
He's
why I stopped.
he's Argentinian, so like if that explains anything.
So okay, so and you're like a two-man company then, right? Do you did he do the color?
Brian is contracting. So for Screecher, I contracted with a person in Italy in Goemonji. He will not be returning for issue 2. Blah 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 blah. I've actually contracted with another person called Ardent Black out of the UK.
Okay.
They've actually been coloring my trading cards for a while. So if you ever get like the trading card perks,
Okay.
you've got some of their colors. They are going to be handling Screecher issue 2, and I am so excited because this person is an amazing artist,
Oh, cool.
and they're a joy to work with, and I cannot wait.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. So is this a character that you've had in your head for a long time? Like I know like Eric Larson when he did the Savage Dragon, that was his comic book, that creation that he had as a little kid. Yeah, I think Todd McFarlane had Spawn at some point since he was a teenager.
2100 Samurai definitely falls under that ladder. It was actually my first comic book creation. I created it in my senior year of high school.
Oh,
so,
nice! I love hearing stuff like that.
2100 Samurai, was birthed in 2005. Just and then like my first comic that I released, Product Access, that one came out. I first did the scripts for that one, 2006, 2007 ish. I'll probably circle back and like redo Product Access at some point.
Okay.
But right now, this is a Screecher and Torrent Samurai show.
Okay. Since I missed 2100 Samurai. Obviously, it's Samurai, but is it a period piece? Is it set? Can you tell me more about it?
So basically, Torrent Samurai, and this is kind of like the spiel I give at conventions, so just kind of. So basically, it stars a samurai named Kiro, who gets transported from feudal Japan to the cyberpunk future of 2100.
Okay.
So he's left stranded on the mean streets of New Detroit, and he has to make his own way. Like he came here with his fiance. Some stuff happens. They get separated. He finds this young woman named Tyler. I'm trying not to spoil it.
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I know you're going to read it, and for anyone who might be seeing this who hasn't returned Samurai yet, I'm like trying not to spoil it. So, but basically, the first 2 issues are like a 2-part television pilot. It's called Traveling Part 1 and 2, but like each issue has its own name. And then issue 3 is actually the start of a 3-part story arc called The Vow. And then these 2 story arcs, all 5 issues in total, are going to make up volume 1.
I like how animated you get when you talk about it. You can tell you're excited.
Yeah, so Torrent Samurai.
I like that.
So basically, with Screecher is supposed to be like a more of a mainstream, like all ages kind of comic. Like basically, the age rating for Screecher I say is like 11 plus. Torrent Samurai is a totally different ball of wax. For one thing, it's a mature rated comic book. It's actually a 17 plus book, and it's black and white. It's like I was trying to go for like kind of like a mixture of like Ghost in the Shell, Blade Runner, Batman Beyond kind of stuff. It's very violent. There's curse words. There's F-bombs. There's blood. Like for example, their base of operations is a brothel. And a lot of the storylines involve ladies of the night, if you will. When we get off camera, I'll tell you like one of the jokes, because there are some really vulgar jokes. No nudity. I kind of drew the line at nudity because I wanted it to be explicit but not like pornographic. Like I kind of drew a line,
Yeah, I kind of like that line. That's a lot of the crowdfunding. They can do whatever they want, and sometimes I think a little bit of boundaries is a good thing. So it sounds like you're creating your own rules and sticking to them, which I do appreciate. I
Yeah,
also
like I'd say this was like it's hard R in some places, but like what like I'd say it's kind of average, like a mid R, if you will, kind of thing.
I wanted to say I'm that Screecher. It is all ages, and I think that's something that's very important. I think a lot of comic books, Marvel, DC, what have you, everybody, they're kind of forgetting that comic books kids should be reading comics, and I think it's a shame. I had friends come over, and I tried to give them some comics, and the little girl looked at it, she said, "What's a comic book?" You know, how and I blame Marvel and DC for that. They got Spider-Man movies coming out, and they can't put Spider-Man comic books in little kids'
See,
hands. So I appreciate
another
that Screecher can be given to a kid to read.
see the other wrinkle to this like all ages discussion is there are two approaches to all ages: being kiddie and just being purely all ages.
Right.
So remember when I said Batman the Animated Series?
That was all ages.
So okay, so but it was like the proper kind of all ages, to where it was
100%.
perfectly appropriate for the kids, but adults could get into it because like the storylines, the
100%.
characters, and the true family film, like Shrek is a family film, like
Right.
because kids watch it, they don't get they don't get any of the jokes, any of the dirty jokes, all
Right.
that all flies over the head. But adults enjoy it, be like, oh, I see what they did there. The kids don't get it, but
Right.
so it's still appropriate for the kids. Like that's what I wanted to do with Screecher, and basically have a comic that kids can enjoy it, boys or girls,
Right.
but like the adults can read it, be like, oh, really good character, really good action, like because like the common thing that you always see in like like if you ever watch like the comment like the behind the scenes for like Batman series Gargoyles, the thing they always say is we don't talk down to the kids.
Right. Gargoyles was a perfect example of that. I still love that. I'm a 50-year-old man, and I love Gargoyles.
And I feel like that's kind of a problem we're still struggling with. Is a lot of these kids media, they treat the kids like they're idiots.
Yep.
Kids are like, I'm sorry, kids are not idiots.
Nope.
If you treat the kids like actual people, they respond to it. Like, oh my God, you treat people like people, they enjoy it. Holy crap, what a revelation!
I was a school teacher, and all the kids were reading Harry Potter at the time, and I didn't know Harry Potter. It just came out. We're talking when it first came out. So
I remember those times.
I said, I'm gonna read this book because there's kids who are literally excited to read for the first time. So I read the first book and I really liked it, and I remember I went to a forum because at that time the forums were the biggest thing, So I'm on, and somebody said, "Oh, Harry Potter, that's children's literature," like a dismissive comment, and I said, Narnia is children's literature. The Hobbit was children's literature. The Wizard of Oz is children's literature. Charlotte's Web. I said, but these are books, stories that we're going to be talking about these books when we're all gone. So children's literature is not a dismissal that you think it is. To me, it's like Star Wars was children's literature in a movie, and we're still talking about Star Wars. So I got to give you credit for making something that's not children's. It's all ages. There's a little bit of difference, but I think that's important and it's being overlooked. So there you go.
Yeah, and especially like in the indie space, like
crowdfunding, I think that's getting neglected. Yes.
I feel like with indies, I think their mindset is, oh, we're adults, we're selling our comic books to adults. Why hold back? Like, let's give them the mature stuff. And I'm not saying that shouldn't happen.
That's not wrong.
But the thing is, I'm recognizing a hole in the market.
Yes. Like, there's room for both, is what I was trying to say. Yes.
Like basically, the hole the gap that I'm filling is comic books that are more writing based, but also like all ages and kind of based around like the late '80s, like late '90s, early 2000s. You can't think like Chuck Dixon's Nightwing, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Spider-Man. Like those kind of books. Those are a really big inspiration on my stuff, and
those are great books.
I feel like it's kind of a little bit of an underserved segment.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to like the Fantastic Four. The whole Kirby Stanley that was all ages, Doctor Strange, the Steve Ditko, that was all ages. There's nothing wrong with all ages. And nobody who's into comics is going to say anything bad about those comics.
Spider-Man was all ages when it first came out.
Right, exactly. I think like Silver Age DC was a little child orientated, and then like later on, like when Jim Shooter started writing the Legion of Superheroes and Marv Wolfman with Teen Titans, I think they made it more like adults and kids could read it. It became less children's and more all ages.
Yeah,
and,
DC in the 60s and DC in the 70s, it's like night and day.
Yeah,
it is like
animals.
Night and day.
Yeah.
Like when Neil Adams took over Batman and just totally reinvented the character like that, it's just crazy.
Yeah, that DC before Neil Adams was almost a different company. I agree with you. So let's talk then. Who are you already mentioned Chuck Dixon. Who else are your comic book inspirations? Who are your greats? I wear my inspirations on my sleeve.
Well, for me, certainly Alan Moore. I really love his work.
Can I ask you a question? I know I just asked you something, but now, do you feel that people have been like attacking Alan Moore lately? I've been seeing like an Alan Moore pushback.
Alan Moore, the person now, he's kind of a POS. And I think I don't know. To me, Watchmen is like one of the greatest literary achievements of all time. Like it just transcends comics. His V for Vendetta, just a lot of his stuff. I say Frank Miller probably would be an also.
You're saying the greats. I just said that DC before Neil Adams was a different. Comic books was different before the Watchmen. There's like before the Watchmen and after Watchmen, or two different. Like the Watchmen was a barrier or a boundary, I guess is a better word. Yep. And Eddie in the comments is saying the return of all ages comics, thumbs up. So
Sure will be leading the charge.
Yeah, good, and you should be, because like I said, when my buddy's daughter said, "What's a comic book?" I was like, and we were standing in my comic book room. I got a room back here with 55,000 comics in it, and she's like, "What's a comic book?" I'm like,
"Oh,
it's like saying, "What's breathing?" What's food?
What is love?
Yeah, what is love? Don't hurt me. But she did.
Okay, you got no more. I'm glad you picked up on the joke.
Yeah. So you said that 2100 Samurai, that there's humor in it. Do you consider yourself like a humorous writer?
Yes and no. Whenever I do humor, it's really weird because like my personal taste, I tend to really enjoy slapstick humor, but like whenever I write humor, it's like very dry humor kind of thing. Like Ricky Gervais would love me. I just gotta say.
I'm a big. My wife and I love the Ricky Gervais shows, or Afterlife and Derek, and why can't I think of the other one?
Like basically, Return Samurai, I would classify it as the humor is like more dark comedy, like dark macabre comedy kind of route. Like think, I don't know. No, I wouldn't go that far, but like, like like some sex jokes and whatnot, or just like various stuff. It's not a comedy book. It's very much more like an action book, I'd say.
So what is tougher to write then? Comedy or serious?
I'd say comedy.
Yeah.
Because
I tried it. There's nothing worse than giving your friend a comedy script and they just looking at me like, I can't get through this.
There's a reason why all my jokes are dry, because that's all I know how to write is like very dry, humorous kind of jokes.
You said you like slapstick. Do you think have you tried to do slapstick in a comic format? Do you think that would be difficult? Because that's all about timing, right?
Yeah, I mean, the dry humor that I do, it's all about timing as well. I mean, comedy is all about timing.
Yeah.
Now, when I say slapstick, I let me just say Mel Brooks is one of my favorite directors. So Mel Brooks style slapstick, like.
So what's your favorite Mel Brooks movie? Let's see if we can be friends.
Robin Hood and Men in Tights.
Oh, okay. All right. I was gonna say High Anxiety. Oh my God, do I love
I
High
have
Anxiety.
never okay, so I've never seen High Anxiety. I need to.
Ah!
I love Spaceballs. Blazing Saddles is amazing.
Blazing Saddles is amazing. That's my father's favorite movie of all time.
Hey boys, look what I got
I can't
here.
even quote my father's favorite lines.
Where are all
on
the
the
white
thing on
women
YouTube.
at? Like I just like oh. I work for Mel Brooks. Like, okay, so Round Him in a Tights is such a like. I've seen it like a billion times. So every time I laugh my ass off. Oh, Robin, you lost your arms in battle. Those some rather nice boobs. Blinken, I'm over here. I thought this would have been drafty in here. Hey, Blinken, hold the reins. Did you say Abe Lincoln? No, I said, hey, Blinken, hold the reins. You haven't seen The Last of Us.
I like how animated you get.
You've seen
That's
The Last
exciting.
of Us. Like I love call the locksmith. Call the locksmith.
You've seen History of the World, right?
So, what's your profession? I'm a stand-up philosopher. Oh, professional bull crapper, eh? Have you tried to bull crap recently?
Yeah.
Have you thought about?
I'm on my wine break.
Like, I'm sorry, I love that scene because B. Arthur just says it with just such a deadpan straight face. Like, oh my God, how many takes did that? Like,
yeah, that
like
must have been fun. That
face.
movie must have been like a party, you know, or to be on that set.
We got a group dining here, and it's like literally the Last Supper.
I watched that last Easter at my nephew's house, and they had never seen it. You know, I have a whole generation of nieces and nephews that don't know Mel Brooks as you. So we put that on, and I said, you know, they were like uncomfortable because they're not used to like politically incorrect humor. And, you know, good thing it wasn't Blazing Saddles. I think they would have died. But so
we're watching History of the World. The producers. That'll make them uncomfortable.
Oh, I forgot about the producers. Oh my God. I think I have to change it. I think that might be.
And if they call it, if they start saying, "Oh, this is like racist or something," like it was made by a Jew.
Well, not only that, all the black jokes were written by Cleavon Little in the place. They did a famous interview with him. You can see it on YouTube. And somebody was like getting all like righteous, like, how could you be in this movie with all these jokes? You know, don't these jokes offend you? And he goes, offend me? I wrote them. Times are different back then. But we were watching History of the World, and I was watching their faces because my favorite joke was coming up. It's Cloris Leachman comes out and she's knitting, and she goes, let's end this meeting on a high note. And she goes, ah! And I was like kicking the chair, laughing so hard. They were laughing at me, laughing more than the jokes. But I guess
that is a very Mel. Like honestly, if you know Mel Brooks style, you could have saw that coming.
Yeah, I still love that joke. That's the best joke in the
Jews movie. In space.
Yep.
And like their spaceship is just the Star of David.
Yeah, the Star of David. Yeah, and Hitler
on ice.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And did you see he did a remake of what is the name of the movie? Now I can't even think. But it was.
They're actually doing a History of the World Part 2 on Hulu.
Yeah, is it out yet? I saw an advertisement for it, then I never saw it again. You know, and I like Mel Brooks has to have something to do with it, correct? Like
I would assume so.
Yeah, I would assume
Mel
too.
Brooks.
Young Frankenstein. How did I forget Young Frankenstein?
See, after his wife died, he kind of lost his appetite for doing stuff. Like, I really wish he was still doing movies because I would have loved. Okay, so did you know that his son Max Brooks wrote the Zombies Guide to the Apocalypse?
Yes,
I would have loved it if he would have done a film, like a zombie film, in like 2008, 2009, based off of that book. Like, oh my God, he would have killed it.
It doesn't Max Brooks, didn't he do a couple of comics? Am I mistaken?
I think he may have. Like, imagine if he had finally released Spaceballs. I guarantee you, if he was like still in the movie game by the time Force Awakens came out, he would have released Spaceballs too. Like, he would have done it just to like ride on the train.
Yeah, it's good. A fellow Mel Brooks fan.
So, Yogurt, will I ever see you again? Perhaps. In Spaceballs 2, the search for more money.
The best line in Spaceballs 2 is delivered by a phenomenal actor, John Candy, when he said, "I'm a Morg." half dog, half man. I'm my own
I'm
best
my
friend.
own best friend. Don't barf in here. This is a Mercedes. No.
Oh my God.
No. My favorite. Like, it's like, I am Vespa, daughter of Roland, king of the Druids.
Jewish.
Just what we need. A Druish princess. That's funny. She doesn't look Jewish. Like, they just went there. I love it.
Just stupid humor. I love it. I love it.
She went from suck to blow.
I remember I took a girl on. We ended up dating for a couple of years, but it was like our first or second date, and I took her to that movie, and she's putting her arms around me. You know, you're teenagers. You're 16 years old. You got no places to make out, so you go to the movies. She wants to make out, and I'm laughing, kicking the chair, like ah.
Okay, that is base. That is base, my friend. You are base. You chose Mel Brooks over making out. You are a god. You are a god. You are based among base.
And she stuck with me for 3 years. And it was funny. One day we were just.
I respect you.
I guess we were both like 22, and we were just like at a diner, and we both were like, "Do you want to break up?" And she's like, "Yeah." You know, enough is enough. We're still friends. So you want to hear a funny story? She called me up because I'm an electrician now. She called me up last month, so you know we're still friendly. Because an electrician was ripping her off, so she's like, I said, "Don't pay that price. It's ridiculous. I'll be right over." So I came over on Saturday, and then when I saw the scope of what had to be done, she was actually getting a good price. That's the problem, is she didn't explain everything. She was telling me what she thought had to be. Long story short, I didn't do any work. I said, "Go get that electrician. You know, he's got the tools that I don't have. It's a good price." So she's like, "Well, let me give you something." And I was like, "Don't give me any money." She goes, "Well, here, take these records. I know you like records." So we go into her garage. She gives me a milk crate full of albums, LPs. They were my records. She took them when we were 17 years old. Now we're in our 50s.
Did you say that to her?
She's paying me back in my own records. There's all my Clash albums. There's all my REM albums.
Please tell me you called her out on it right then and there.
That's what I said to her. I said, "These are my records." And she's like, "Oh, okay." I said, "If I pull out the sleeves, I'm going to see my name written on the white, on the vinyl." That's funny. Oh, Eddie's laughing. Okay, I made somebody laugh. Hey, Arthur Tripp's in the audience. Arthur Tripp worked for Marvel Comics as a kid. He delivered the scripts from Jack Kirby's house to the Marvel headquarters stuff. You know.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I went out. We had some lunch and we're talking about his old days at Marvel. How cool is that? The Woodchuck, they were called. So good to see you, Arthur. So where was I now? Now I'm like my eyes hurt from laughing.
Oh.
You cracked me up. All right. So this Friday, 2100 Samurais is going live on Indiegogo. Yep.
You will be doing a launch stream for it on Comics League's channel. The live stream will be starting at noon EST, and then the comic itself will be launched at 12:30 EST.
Okay, cool. That is awesome, and I just think that's great. That I just think what a great time to be a comic book fan. That you could not only like have an idea for a comic book, you reached out and found an artist that you clicked with, and now you're making your own comics, and now you make it 1, 2, 3 comics a year. That is just awesome. And they like I said, these look like comic books made by a company that's been around for 20 years. You know, these aren't just like those. I don't know if you're old enough to remember those old comic book fanzines that people used to make that were just photocopied. You know, people are making real quality better than mainstream comic books. I think it's amazing.
Crazy.
It's yeah. How you what happened? Oh, I just saw a message pop up, but it confused me. You use Indiegogo exclusively, right?
Yeah, though I am considering switching to Kickstarter for Screecher Issue 2. I think the comic might actually do really well there. Okay. It's not. I haven't finalized that decision yet, but it's under consideration.
Okay. yeah, I never did a comic, so I don't know the difference. Uh, what kind? Oh, Arthur Tripp's talking about Young Frankenstein. I got distracted.
Hmm.
Still making me laugh. My stomach hurts, guys. Stop it. Stop it. So you're gonna put Screech. You might put Screecher 2 on Kickstarter. Do you? And you never used Kickstarter before. This is gonna be a first time for you.
I have used Kickstarter, like my very first campaign for Project Access. Um, I did that on Kickstarter.
Okay, and I don't know. I don't know the difference. I assume one's got benefits and detriments, and the other one's got different benefits and detriments. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Indiegogo has like different options. You can do flexible funding. You can do fixed funding. Kickstarter is fixed funding only. More
Right.
people tend to be on Kickstarter. Also, Kickstarter can sometimes have certain policy things like if you don't align politically with some
Yeah,
stuff.
I didn't want to bring that up, but I've been hearing nightmares about that. Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately, I'm not like I don't have to worry about that. So
Yeah, good, good. I like Indiegogo. I like because you just pay and you're done, and I don't have to worry about it. But then Kickstarter, it's also good because like okay, I don't have to wait till payday. I could do it now because sometimes I'll wait for Indiegogo and then I forget. You know, like Cyberfrog One.
yeah,
I thought
yeah,
I
that's
thought I backed and I didn't.
yeah, that's a problem you run into from like the creators end on Kickstarter is you get drop pledges. So like let's say someone backed like
Oh,
$100 level, when it comes time to pay up and they don't, that's $100 less
oh.
you have.
I never thought about that, but that makes sense. So let's just make up numbers. So you think you got 1,000 people back, and then their credit cards were denied or whatever. And that next thing you got 980 or whatever. Ah, wow.
Yeah.
I did. You know, I could see that happening quite a bit. Yeah. So Indiegogo, you pay it right then and there. So yeah, you don't have to
Hmm.
really. Your numbers are your numbers. Oh wow. Okay.
I mean, people can refund, but that's more of a deliberate action after the fact versus Kickstarter. It's like, oh, pay up, and like they forget it, like they fund it and then forget about it. So it's a little, it's the
Yeah. Indiegogo, yes, you could, yeah, you could but then again, by the time it closes out, you got solid numbers. Where
yeah.
Kickstarter, by the
So
time it closes out, you can, oh, yeah, that's something to think about. Oh, there you go. You
yeah,
could,
it's trade offs really. It's like I wouldn't say Indiegogo is objectively better than
yeah,
Kickstarter
I
or
don't know.
vice
I'm
versa.
trying to form an opinion. I'm just gathering data. I don't know, like it matters. Like I don't have a comic book coming out.
Yeah,
But I'm
and like
just curious.
outside of these two paradigms, there's like so many others. I don't know. I just I'm just very wary of like newer platforms. Like I know there's kind of this one hit like going around the indie space like Fun My Comic. I don't
Yeah,
know.
somebody in the
At
comments
least
just said fund my comic.
yeah. It's a smaller site. I don't agree. Plus like the guy who runs it, I'm not a big fan of that person, so I tend to stay away from it. A lot of people like it. That's cool. It's just that site is not something that I will be using.
Okay. I've heard it mentioned. I don't know anything about it other than I've heard it mentioned.
Hmm.
I was I remember some guy was talking to Ethan Van Sciver about like why don't you you're big enough, why don't you make like crowdfunding the company and like just make everybody's comic books and I kind of understood what the guy was saying, but Ethan was like not hostile to the idea, but like just against the idea. And
See,
how
this
do you
is
feel
see,
like
see
about
this
that?
is
Like,
kind of the problem I have with like these smaller sites creating crowdfunding platforms. It takes a lot of money, a lot of capital, a lot of security, and I just don't think an individual, unless I mean Ethan, he has enough money, he could really do it.
that's why
You
he was
know,
that's why he was going to Ethan with this idea, or Eric July now.
yeah, Eric July is not going to do it, and
Yeah.
um, I like Ethan, I like Eric, um, you know, but like you got to realize, like I respect Eric July for his success, but like the thing is, to do what he needed do what he did, you needed a lot of startup capital. So, like Eric July was like worked really hard and he built up his startup capital to do what he needed to do. Not everyone, like I'm not Eric July, not all these people. So I'm just worried that like a lot of these sites, I don't know how long they're gonna last. It's like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and this is your baby. You know what I mean? You don't want to risk it. You know, I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, like when you have these sites that are run by like more individuals and not corporations, it's like sure they seem like nice guys, but like there's always that kind of like iota of like oh what kind of say. I don't know. I prefer the bigger people. It's
Yeah,
more
I don't
more
blame you.
secure.
You wait a little bit, see how it works out, see what other people,
Like I'll take my 1 to 5% hit in exchange for security. It's a trade off.
Well, yeah, well, you can't, you can't complain about that. Kickstarter and Indiegogo got to get their cut too. It's a business.
Yeah, and then there's the other thing with sites like Kickstarter and Indiegogo is visibility. On these smaller sites, you got like next to no visibility
Yeah, I
versus
guess
like it's like yeah.
you'd have to be your own promoter. You'd have to do it all.
And that's what I am. Like for me, most of my sales came from Twitter. Like I actually looked at the analytics for Screecher.
Me and you were talking right here because of Twitter.
Yeah, 77% of my donations for Screecher came from Twitter. Like they actually showed like the sources.
Yeah,
The
you were
traffic,
clever.
77% of them.
Yeah, you were clever and you were funny, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna buy this guy's comic book.
I got the memes.
If his Twitter is funny, his comic book's gonna be good. That's what I figured.
Yeah, Twitter's like my main platform. I'm very, I work very hard to kind of run a fun, positive platform. I like to have fun, joke around, and whatnot.
Yeah, you got a funny sense of humor, and it worked. All right, I go to bed early because I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, anything you want to close out with? This has been a fun. You made me laugh. My ribs actually.
Make sure to check out Turn Samurai, launching this Friday on Indiegogo.
Yeah, and guys, I did a showcase on Screecher. For those of you who are new, I seem to have gotten a bunch of new subscribers lately. Go check out Screecher. It was a fun comic book. It took me by surprise because I just gambled on Nick's comic over here. He won me over on Twitter, and I got to say it's an all ages comic. If you have children, you could read it with your kids. You don't have to worry about anything. And I talked about at the beginning. I think all ages is something that's important in comic books.
Mm-hmm.
So I do give you all the respect in the respect.
Look at the numbers Dogman is doing.
Yeah,
I mean Dogman is kicking everyone's butts. Like yes. Dogman is like doing.
I have a little bit of a pet peeve about Dogman because it seems like all of the comic companies include Dogman in like the growth of comic books. It's kind of misleading.
It's the same reason why when the same people who say oh comic books are fine and they dig up the numbers, they're like those are mostly manga.
Yeah, they include manga.
Like,
they include
just
Dogman.
look at the top 10. Like if you look at the top 10 sales each month, it's gonna be like manga is gonna be like 75%. Like you'll see like a Batman book there. Marvel's not even in it.
Right. Yeah.
Marvel's not even in the top 10. Like you might see a Batman book here, maybe a Spider-Man book if they're running an event.
Yeah.
But it's like a Batman. There's like one Batman book in there somewhere, but the rest of it's all manga.
And it's such an easily disproven lie. Like, are these people like lying to us, or are they delusional, or are they just fearful?
Bit of column A, bit of column B, and as well as column C.
And then I what was it? Comic-Con? They kind of stopped showing the numbers, but they started including crowdfunding in the last year. And people are like, look how good comics are. Yeah, because we're including manga, we're including children's books, and we're including crowdfunding.
I mean, if you're just looking at the indie space is really doing well, like thriving and whatnot. Like
this is like the
sure you got your big numbers, but like your average one is doing really well.
Right now, if I wanted to put like I in the 80s and 90s, I was big into punk rock and records, and I was like, oh, there's so many good bands, but you had to work to find them. Right now, there's so many good comics, and I'm willing to look to find them. I found you. Good example. So I'm excited. I'm more excited about comic books now than I've been in years because of not because of the big guns, but because of the small guns. I think, and I wish you would become a big gun. doesn't take anything away from me for you to become successful. You know,
Yeah.
I want you to be able to put out a comic a month, and that's your only concern. And you got a staff with people. That would be awesome.
One day.
One day. Yeah, I'm rooting for you. So there you go, guys. Check out 2100 Samurais. It's going live Friday. Screecher 2, you said is going to come out in I forget if you said June
October.
or July. Oh, October. So nothing. Forget what I said about June or July. October.
Yeah,
really
June or July. I'm going to start work on.
Oh,
it in
you're going to
June or
start
July.
work. Okay, so I am crazy. But I'm not totally crazy. I did hear a June or July. Yeah, it's the old man beard. Um, and I think it's important to support indie people. I'm I noped out of Marvel and DC, and I'm more excited about comic books than I've been in 10 years. So thank you for coming on. It's funny because sometimes I'll like around 8 o'clock I start saying goodbye. People look surprised. I know the artists and everything, they stay up all night, but us construction workers, we got to go to bed early.
Got to get your beauty sleep.
Yeah, and I need lots of it. But thank you for coming on. I will definitely
if you could humor me.
Sure.
I would like to play the teaser trailer.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm going to present my screen, and then you just put it on. Look in the bottom. You'll see it.
What do I do? You got to talk this old guy through this stuff.
We're over it, and it's like present. Like wait. Sorry. I did it the wrong way.
Okay.
Because I didn't do it with sound, and that's kind of important. So
yeah, you got to treat it tail. That's kind of exciting. So am I going to settings?
No. You see the thing that popped up where it shows the screen on the bottom?
Nothing popped up.
Right below the box where we're talking, like right down there. It should be right next to me. You'll see another box that just popped up.
No, nothing popped up.
I should have. No, it's on the StreamYard.
Recording layouts.
No, you don't go into settings.
It's like you're talking to Grandpa now. No, Grandpa, don't touch the remote control.
No, just like the regular screen. Don't like you see like the boxes where it says like Nick Gibson, and then there should be a box right next to it.
Banners, brand, comments. Oh, okay. No. Brand. What is this? I don't know. Pop. Get away from the remote control.
I'm just gonna have to send you like a freaking picture of this, and
I know. I'm sorry.
I'll send it to you on Twitter. It's fine. It's whatever. All right, check your the Twitter.
Okay, my screen's probably gonna go blank for a second. We can still talk, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I don't have that.
Your messages on Twitter, the DMs.
No, I just got your picture, but I don't. There's supposed to be something down here for me to. God.
Yeah, there should be a screen.
Show headlines, classic bubble. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I'm killing you. I know.
Because I know it's there. Look down, below the box.
It says comments, banners, and brand. I'm doing this on my phone. I'm not doing this on a computer, so it might be different.
Oh, well, I don't know then.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. All right. I don't know how to do this. You talking to
don't worry about it. Let's just cap this thing.
Okay. Sorry, man. I just want to. The link is in the description. Right here. I'm gonna put it into the video itself. Go Friday. He's gonna go live at 12:30, and you can get 2100 Samurais. And issue 3 is coming out, but you said you could get a bundle of 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Cool. And then October Screecher 2 it will be coming out. I'm a big fan of Screecher. And thank you, Nick, for coming on. Forgive this old I look like a boomer, but I'm not really a boomer, but I might as well be for Mr. Bad at Technology. Thank you so much for putting up with me. Thank you so much. And good luck Friday. And I'll be back in. I'll probably be one of the first backers.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye-bye.